Here we are out and about in the beautiful Australian countryside, celebrating the 40 years that Brown Davis has been in the four-wheel drive industry, but we're here really celebrating the entire industry, not just Brown Davis. Started in Australia, iconic Australian products. Started in the 70s, early companies like TJM in 73, ARB started in 75, Brown Davis in 1978. While a lot of you may know Brown Davis for the four-wheel drive fuel tanks and underguards and other four-wheel drive products we build, the fuel tanks we build now for the four-wheel drive vehicles actually stemmed from a beginning of building long-range fuel tanks effectively for touring cars, running around at Bathurst wanting big fuel volume, and that's what we started doing. From there, we developed that type of product to do the same thing for a four-wheel drive, just carry it further, safely, without any issues of breaking down. To celebrate our 40 years, we decided to build ourselves a 40 Series. It's the iconic original car that the four-wheel drive industry started from. It's out here in the beautiful Australian bush. It just represents everything that the four-wheel drive industry now is to the world. It's a car to look exactly of the car of the type. It's got lots of help from lots of other companies in the four-wheel drive industry who've supplied parts and help us build this as a celebration for everyone in the industry, not just our company.
Woohoo! How cool is this?
It's built to try and make sure it has the character of that original 1978 40 Series. There's a lot of modifications we've done to the car to try and make it a bit more driver friendly. It's got a V8 engine in it. It's longer, wider, stops better, more modern to drive than the original old rattling 40 Series that they were.
Were you getting worried when that dizzy, how close that dizzy was getting when you're loading it in?
Well, of course, we know it's about fiddled, but yeah, I mean, we pushed the limits as to what we could do, but we really wanted wheelbase length. So we moved the front axle forward 50 mil, we moved the back axle backwards 150 mil. So it's all 200 millimeters longer without cutting the chassis. So we've just moved them on the chassis and kept the chassis length the same. And then we moved the body partly forward to the front, and then we just cut the body in the middle and added 200 in it, so the back is back where the rear wheels are.
So that whole engine's behind this front axle?
Yeah.
Completely.
Which is what you want.
Yeah. So did you have to make all this, or is that factory?
Yeah, no, everything's fabricated so we could put a late model aluminium radiator in it out of a 79 Series. All that's fabricated to match all the bracketry, everything we've had to make specially to match the car.
Yeah, because that wouldn't have cleared the bonnet, would it? With
No.
that profile there.
No, so it's set back. That's where the original radiator is set back a little bit in these. The engine is back further than would be normally in one of these because the front of the body is moved forwards 50 mil. There's a strip 75 mil wide been added into the middle of the guards. So when you look at the car, it looks relatively standard, but you don't pick that it's longer and wider.
Yeah.
The rear wheel arches are the dead giveaway. The flares that we made to match. You've got another 100 mil in the front tail shaft and 100 mil in the back tail shaft. So the way they used to jack up on that front tail shaft when you got travel, all fixed.
Yep.
We changed the front geometry to give you caster, so it now turns and steers. So the grip you get out of these modern radial tyres, you can actually feel it when you drive the car.
You haven't told us what size fuel tank's in it.
To be honest,
You better be honest.
I think it's about 100 litres in the back, but there's a second fuel tank that we've half made to go into it as well. So there'll be two fuel tanks in it, and we've got an underguard to put under the transmission, which again is at the factory waiting to be finished and then plated and powder coated. And particularly with the other brands of gear that are on the car, I didn't want the build to detract from the equipment that's on there. We still want it to be an iconic car. We don't want to lose its character. And while there's a lot of things about it, you know, with power brakes and power steering, so that it's easy to drive, it still has the same character.
Yeah.
Bit of fun to celebrate 40 years.
That's what it's about, isn't it?
It took slightly less than 40 years to build it. But it seems like